I sure hope nobody's watching this.
Let's get all right. Let's get our guest on. We got Jon Calestine.
So we got Jon Calestine. He's EBI champ, 145 champ, on at 135 champ. He comes out of Renzo Gracie's. I don't know where he's training at now. We're going to get into that. How selective is Jon when it comes to finding people that he puts his energies into as competitors?
Right.
It's just Jon has people that he wants to put his energy into and people that he wants to do things, and it just, I guess, wasn't put into me as much, and so I just took it upon myself to go do it on my own if I had to.
So again, Aaron, let's help you. I have a bit of I have a little bit of information on the timeline situation and whatever. I don't even know why I'm bringing this up. I just feel like if I could talk about it because it's fun. So like you and Eddie, now did you and Eddie leave similar at the same time and you guys were going to go? Did you guys open your own school or something like that?
No, basically, so it's funny. Basically,
because I kept seeing it. I remember when nobody was talking about it. You know what I'm talking about? But it was obvious that Eddie Cummings wasn't training with Renzo anymore. You know what I mean? It was obvious that you and him were somewhere else. And it was like this thing. I was like, well, how come Eddie Cummings, he posted these pictures? And I thought he had just went and opened up his own gym and it was like an amicable split. And then all of a sudden there was that thing like, by the way, I'm no longer with Renzo Gracie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So go ahead. Now it's your turn.
What had happened was, Eddie had left first.
Right.
And I originally, like, when I first started going to the city, even before I met Jon, I met Eddie. So I was training with Eddie, competition training and all that. And he was the one who helped me and pretty much taught me a lot of what it is that I know today.
Yeah.
And so after he left, I made a decision that it would be best for me to leave as well. Mm-hmm. So I left too.
Yeah, I was just going to ask. So I just wanted to go back because I feel like we kind of skipped over something huge here, and I want to really go back to it. So you have you're training at Renzo's in the blue basement, and an opportunity for EBI comes up. Now, obviously, I understand in that situation, being at they're only going to send one guy in at one weight class. They're going to be. But what about other tournaments like ADCC or the Worlds, no-gi and stuff like that? Couldn't you just enter on your own? And I mean, are they going to say you can't? Hey, if you're going to train at
those point, those open tournaments where we were always able, everybody just could do whatever they want or anything. But I felt that I deserved a few opportunities, especially being as though I was there longer and I was the only person who started at Renzo's that was in the room. Yeah. I just felt that I shouldn't have to, and I also felt that if we were going to fight for opportunities, let's do it in the gym like they used to. Like the person who gave me my black belt said, if there was an ADCC trials on the East Coast, all the guys in every weight class showed up to the gym one day and they fought for that spot.
Right.
If we did that, I'd probably still be in that gym.
Right. At least let it come to merit as opposed to whatever the whims of
as opposed to just favoritism and politics. I was just like, I'd rather fight for it, and then if I lose, I lose. You beat me,
right?
But I'd rather settle it that way.
So you mentioned something a little bit that was kind of cool about how you learned a lot of things from Eddie Cummings.
Yeah.
So, and this kind of brings up another little thing that people tend to talk about, little like conspiracy. They're not necessarily conspiracy theories. They're just points of interest about the John Danaher leg lock systems in particular. Yeah. Like there are parts when John Danaher does his DVDs where he specifically says, this is Eddie Cummings stuff. So we're not going to get into that because he created that. And I don't want to take credit for that. Now, how much of during the course of the development of this leg lock system, I mean, there's talks that like, Eddie got a little bit frustrated with maybe the fact that he wasn't getting as much recognition as being an instrument because he wasn't really John's first like Padawan learner or however you want to say it, and they kind of developed some of the leg lock stuff together.
Padawan. I want to say that. Well, he wasn't his first. I mean, there's lots of guys before Eddie that were black belts under John. Right. I think just in that venture, it was like Eddie was doing a lot of leg locks, and then from what I understood, a lot of the system was developed from Eddie.
Right.
in the beginning. But at this point, there's so many things floating around that
Right. And I'm not trying to get you to spill the
yeah.
beans, and I'm not
No,
trying
I
to
mean,
really make this into
honestly,
a
the
thing. You know
beans
what I
that,
Yes, he
mean?
is.
honestly,
Yes, he
from
is.
my
Maybe a little
opinion,
bit.
from my opinion, honestly, from my opinion, a lot of the stuff that I know, I've learned from Eddie.
Right.
And a lot of the stuff that was out there or whatever it is stuff that I learned from Eddie
Right.
before everything else.
Yeah, and
So
that's something that I had almost kind of perceived as almost common knowledge, that a lot of the things that are such an integral part of the Danaher system were really developed a lot by Eddie Cummings in addition to John Danaher. And I
yeah,
imagine that there's still some kind of, there has to be a little bit of, grand, yeah, you always respect your coach and you love him and respect him.
yeah,
Like, there's got to be a little bit of Eddie that's like, dude, like, I'm not getting any recognition for developing all this stuff. Because there was a time when I thought Eddie was the best. I thought Eddie was going to be the one that was going to be Gordon and all this other, because he was murdering everybody.
yeah. No, I agree. Yeah.
All right. Anyway, that was cool. I thought that's just something that's kind of like is been kicked around. It's cool to have somebody firsthand to be able to talk about that.
Yeah.
So real quick, one more thing just to put you on the spot, because I love this.
Yeah.
I want to fucking dig into you now. Tell me what you think about Gordon Ryan.
I still don't dislike Gordon
Right.
as like a person completely.
I've met him a few times personally. He's a good dude, bro. He's always been cool with me, man.
Look, Gordon was always cool with me. When I first started going to Renzo's in the city to train in the afternoon, John, he was a purple belt. I was a purple belt, or a new purple belt or something. Like, we started out like going there together at the same time. He was always cool. I feel like the two separate entities, sometimes he doesn't know how to turn it off.
Yeah.
And they're slowly becoming one person.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but this is only what I see.
Right.
Because I saw Gordon I knew Gordon before everything. Before he was the King Ryan.
Yeah.
And when we were doing like we did a little good fight in like North Carolina in the middle of nowhere when he fought. He had a match with, I forgot who it was, but a Bellator fighter, and I had a match with Sean Applegate, and we both got paid like $500 or something like that. Like, so it's like, but I feel like the entity that makes people want to watch him, and the person who he used to be or are slowly becoming the same person.
Yeah.
And sometimes he doesn't know how to turn it off. Out on the table all at once in one night.
So what was the thing? What was the?
Tell someone.
What was
that's really enlightening us. Yeah.
Yeah. What was the?
Sorry. It was when Eddie announced that he was officially at Unity, and Gordon basically said that he'll end his life. Somebody had mentioned Eddie versus the Danaher guys in a comment section, and then Gordon wrote, "I'd be happy to end his life." And then I just wrote, it's not cool to talk to somebody like that.
Yeah.
That's done
that's
enough for you to have still a level of respect. I understand the whole Creonch bullshit. Yeah. And Eddie pissed me off too. He left me kind of fucking hanging in. Yeah.
But you still but
I still have It is what it is.
It is what it is. Because again, like from my point of view, like things happen and shit happens, and everyone wants to say you're gonna be loyal no matter what and take a sword and go down with Titanic and all that bullshit. But I can see from an outside perspective the way that like Eddie would feel slighted and feel like he would have to leave. You know what I mean? To be like, hey, you know what? I'm just gonna go do my own thing because I don't think I can continue here the same way you would be. I just don't think that I can continue here, and it's on me. Whatever, it's cool. Hopefully, we can be amicable about it, but I need to move on, and you can move on with your thing.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what it is. And
it seemed like you did with class, and you did too. It wasn't like it was a fucking. Because if he wanted to make a big thing of it, he would have blasted it from the get go. He was sheepish about it. Yeah, no, that's why everything was kept a secret. Like, when people would ask me about training in the Blue Basement, even though I haven't been trained with John in, I want to say, 2 or 3 years now, since I've actually trained with John. All the tournaments and stuff I won after I had already left and just been training with Eddie. Right.
But I could have 100% just been like, peace, I'm out of here, fuck all y'all.
Yeah, right.
Put all the bullshit out on the table on Instagram for everybody to see right away.
Yeah, right.
But it's just not the way I am, and it's not how I wanted to do things.